Hello everybody, my name is Gambit and welcome to Infamous Energy. If you're a big Pokemon fan, chances are you've heard the new announcement for the new Pokemon Legends game. Needless to say, I'm actually pretty excited. But what makes me the most excited is the idea of having new Mega Evolutions, because they're coming back. So, here's the plan for today's video. We are going to go through each generation and decide which one I would think would be the best choice for a new Mega Evolution. A lot of my choices are Pokemon that I think could really just have very unique / cool designs, and I think deserve a little bit more shine. Along with my choices, I'm going to be showing some very well done fan artwork. So I wanted to take a second to ask everyone to go check out the original creators of these designs because they all did an amazing job and we for sure want to give them the credit they deserve. Every piece of artwork featured in this video will have the original creators' tag / way to find them available on screen, so please make sure to go check them out. And if you're feeling extra generous, you can even go like and subscribe. Here on this channel we feature Pokemon, fighting games, anime like Dragon Ball and Jujutsu Kaisen, and soon enough even more. We do a little bit of everything here because we like to spice it up a little bit. But without further ado, let's get right into the video. Starting off with Gen 1, we have a lot of great options to choose from. I mean, we already got a lot of great Mega Evolutions for the first generation of Pokemon. We have 2 forms for Charizard, Mega Gengar, Mega Alakazam, you know, a lot of great options have already been chosen. But for me personally, 2 Pokemon really came to mind. Our very first honorable mention for this video is Butterfree. Butterfree is the bug Pokemon to top all other bug Pokemon. It's very hard not to want a Mega Evolution for this character because of how iconic Butterfree is in the anime. I really love the very simple but effective changes for Butterfree here. Just having that little bit of extra fluff around the neck area definitely tells you that it's a different Pokemon and it's a little bit more advanced. But my number one choice for a Mega Evolution for Generation 1, drumroll please, I might get some hate for this, is Arbok. Arbok is very far from the most popular Pokemon in the world, but it's always had a very special place in my heart, so I definitely wanted to feature it a little bit in this video. The design we have for Arbok here is really great. It makes him look so menacing, the color swap of the purple and black is absolutely amazing, and I would love it if this became canon. And honestly, man needs a little bit of help competitively as well. Moving on to Generation 2, I actually really didn't have that much trouble choosing a Pokemon for Gen 2. I mean, there are some really good picks like Crobat or the Togekiss line, but the Pokemon I did end up choosing has always had a real soft spot in my heart and I feel like it's overlooked a lot. But at the end of the day, the Pokemon I ended up choosing was Kingdra. For an early gen, I've always really liked this Pokemon's design, but this Mega Evolution really knocks it out of the park. I think the extra color choices of pink, red, purple really just add to this Pokemon's design overall. But my favorite part about this fan design is really the added parts of coral around the Pokemon, which that I didn't really expect. I mean, I usually expect a Mega Evolution design for Kingdra to really lean into that dragon side, but this one does not. Huge props to the artist on this one. If I had this design in the Pokemon games, I would have Kingdra on my team every single chance I got. It is fantastic. Making our way along though, we are going to move our way on to Gen 3. I wanted to give a huge apology to Flygon fans. I'm sorry, but he did not make it to my list. Maybe next time. Gen 3 did have a lot of fantastic options, and a lot of them did get honored in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. But one Pokemon that I'm actually kind of surprised got overlooked was Milotic, which is my honorable mention. The design we have here for Mega Milotic is actually pretty similar to what I would have imagined. The scales really start to go more up Milotic's body in this design, the tail becomes a little bit more noticeable, stuff like that. Like, that's exactly what I would like to see for a Milotic design if we get one in the future. But Milotic is simply my honorable mention, which is why I wanted to talk about my actual choice for Gen 3. The Pokemon I chose for Gen 3 is Cacturne. When looking at this fan-made design again, it really makes me realize how badly I want a Mega Evolution for this Pokemon. Everything about this design is certainly an improvement from the original. The Pokemon just looks more dangerous and menacing overall, which he usually looks a little bit derpy in the regular game, but I still love him for it. The overgrown hat is awesome, and I think this thing actually looks pretty scary. I know what I said about Mega Kingdra, but if I had to choose one over the other, I think I would have to choose this Mega Cacturne design. Up next, if you know how to count, is Gen 4. I'm gonna be honest, for Gen 4, there was no competition for me. There are a lot of Pokemon I like from that generation, but I had one in mind from the start. The Pokemon of my choice was Luxray. Luxray has always been such a fan favorite, but it was never that good, so now would definitely be a good time to change that. I mean, its base design is already cool enough, just give it a little bit more love. But actually going on to the Mega Evolution, I have this design here. This design for Luxray really embraces that star design that it has on its tail, and kind of makes it look more like a spacey Pokemon with the star freckles around its black fur. I'm not gonna front, this design makes it look like a legendary, and I absolutely love it. If I saw this thing in the anime, I would never need to see any type of evolution in the anime ever again. I would be complete. I would not change a single thing. We're only 4 gens in, but once again, these artists absolutely did an amazing job, and if you design Pokemon for fun or anything like that, keep up the amazing work. These are fantastic. Now that we're in Gen 5, I wanted to throw out there that I think Gen 5 has the best Pokemon designs overall, in my opinion. So I really don't think a lot of these Pokemon need Mega Evolutions. I mean, you have Haxorus, which is great, Hydreigon, which is great, Volcarona, which is amazing as well. Now, you could just go the route of making these cool Pokemon already cooler, but I wanted to choose some of the Pokemon that I think deserved a little bit more of that shine, which is why I kind of have a weird pick for my honorable mention. That pick being Leavanny. The bug grass type combo has been around longer than time itself, but I think Leavanny pulls it off really well, especially in the anime, which is probably why I ended up choosing Leavanny as my honorable mention anyway, because I really liked its showcase there. I like the idea and the approach of kind of just making a lot of the leaves around its body longer to kind of make it look more evolved, which is what this artist did. This artist really decided to just give Leavanny much more of a grand appearance, much more like royal almost, which I think is really cool and a great approach. This Pokemon really didn't need much to shine more, so I would say you nailed it. But my actual pick for Gen 5, which is most definitely also anime influenced, is Zebstrika. When looking at Zebstrika usually, I don't really look at it like it's fully evolved, like it still could definitely use one more stage, but I would definitely take a Mega in place of that. Have you ever played Monster Hunter World and gone up against the Corinne? I think that's what fighting this Pokemon would be like. I just know whatever lightning attack this thing throws out will hit. This is the type of Mega Evolution I would definitely see a champion running. Like Cynthia would just pull this out of her back pocket. Yes, I know she has Mega Garchomp, but still, I'm just saying. Moving on though, we are going to go to Gen 6. Gen 6, although it had a pretty small roster, had some pretty solid designs. My honorable mention for this generation was Aegislash, but I feel like these designs are just way too good to not be my main choice. The designs itself were actually so good that I really want a Mega Aegislash now. This Pokemon I actually don't feel like needs that much more love, I just think it would be really cool. The designs we have here for a Mega Evolution make it look like you're almost picking up a legendary weapon from some RPG. I can't tell you what game, but this sword is definitely Excalibur in somewhere. And this shield variation I feel like would just be defense and health. Nothing else. Not a chance you are breaking this thing. Pokemon Company, make it happen. Going on to everyone's favorite tropical islands, we are going to Gen 7, Alola. I didn't really have that many ideas for a Gen 7 Mega Evolution until I thought back to actually when I played Sun and Moon and did a couple Nuzlocke runs. The Pokemon I chose, Araquanid, actually carried me quite a lot. This gave me a lot of respect for this Pokemon, which is why I'm also choosing it for a Mega Evolution. The design we have here for a Mega Evolution is just a step up in every way. You got more bubbles and water around the body, nice little patterns added, everything is just better. This is what making a Mega Evolution is all about. You take the good parts of the original design, look where you kind of could have improved, and just make it overall even better. And that is exactly what this artist did, so big round of applause to them. Moving on though, we are moving our way into Gen 8. I did have an honorable mention for this generation, being Sandaconda. The way I look at the original Sandaconda is a lot of potential, but I actually think using its Mega Evolution would bring a lot of potential out. This design for Sandaconda makes it look a lot less cuddly and a lot more threatening, which I really like. I'm not entirely sure why now there is 3 of them / 3 heads now, but go off. The one thing I would like to see stay in the Mega Evolution design for Sandaconda would definitely be the puffy brown part around the neck. I'm not sure if that's just a part of the coil or not, but I think it should definitely stay on the Mega Evolution design because it makes it look much more Pokemon-like instead of more so regular Snake. But from this design, this thing is gigantic, and I love that idea. My actual choice for the Mega Evolution for Generation 8 is Baltoon. Now, the original design for this Pokemon is still very simple and very basic, but not in a way that I'm a huge fan of, which is why I think having a Mega Evolution would make me love it a lot more. I love the idea of the static from the electricity kind of puffing out its fur. I think that is so cool, and I never really thought of that. I like how the tail here is a lightning bolt, and you can definitely tell this thing would hurt. But now we have finally made it to Gen 9, so here we go. Gen 9, there were a couple of Pokemon that really came to mind, but I thought we would really go out with a bang. The most memorable Pokemon from Gen 9 in my opinion are Armorage and Ceruledge, which is why I chose them for our Mega Evolution duo. These two were the most obvious choice from this generation for me, and looking at the designs, that was a great choice. I do not know what type of Dark Souls, Elden Ring boss fight I would be walking into on these things, but I do not think I would be coming out alive. I love how Ceruledge kind of has this more feminine approach, like around the waist. It's almost like a dress, which I think is really cool, and I wouldn't have thought someone would think of that, but I really like it. As for armors, I really like the design choice of adding the flames around the arms and the headpiece. I think this thing looked like it packed a punch before, but the way the arms are designed now, this thing is one-shotting everything in its path. One Punch Man for sure. The thing I like the most about these two designs is that it doesn't lose what makes them special. For Ceruledge, your eyes are immediately going to go to the giant swords it has. As for Armorage, the main part about the design is definitely the armor that it has. I like how the design of the armor somehow looks more sleek yet defensive than the original was. So for sure, I would love to see these two designs come to the games. Now that we are through every generation, I really wanted to give a quick thank you to all the artists that are in the Pokemon community. This community thrives every day because you are in it, so thank you very much. And please do not forget to check out the artists of these designs, they are amazing. And that is the end of today's video, everybody. Thank you everyone for watching this video. Please do not forget to like and subscribe. I will see you all in the next one.